everyone, today we're going to be going over Death on the Nile, my first Agatha Christie. I cannot believe it. Wow. So if you follow me on any of my Instagram or any of my Fable or Storygraph, you know that I gave this 5 stars. I can't believe I waited this long to read Agatha Christie when it is this amazing. So let's talk about it. We're going to start today with non-spoilers. So Agatha Christie, with just amazing, masterful writing, just captures you first word out of the gate. I just couldn't believe how quickly I got into this book and how quickly I did not want to put this book down. So that just tells you so much about her that it was just so difficult to put this book down. I can't even believe it. I love how the beginning, just like the first little bit there, I think it was like 30 pages. Let me see. Yeah, 30 pages was just little snippets from each of the characters just to kind of give a little introduction. So you had like all the characters, just like a little paragraph or two. Sometimes it went back to a previous character, but not a lot. And it just introduced you, so you really got a feel for everyone. And it wasn't expositionally at all. It was an actual little snippet story, almost like a short story of each person. And it was only 34 pages. It was masterfully done. The characters are so unique and so real feeling. You can really tell that Agatha Christie really was studying human nature, because there's not one single person in here that I didn't know who the person was. I might forget their name, but I knew exactly what they were and what they stood for. So the last part of the non-spoiler, I cannot recommend this book enough. If you haven't read it, stop this video right now and go read it. It is amazing. 5 stars. Really barely have any negatives about it, and the negatives really wouldn't be any negatives to anyone else. So it's just like the most fantastic book I've read in a long time, and that's saying a lot because I read a lot. And I like what I read. I DNF really quickly, so for me to say this is the best book I've read in a while actually means something. All right, so we're gonna go ahead to spoilers. So this is where I do negatives, positives, and my favorite quote. So let's start with negatives. There's only 2, and they're really minuscule. The first negative is just that there's a lot of characters' names to learn really quickly. I actually did care about every single one of the characters, even though there's a lot. So it's not that there's so many that I don't care, it's just that I'm not the best with names ever. So there was like 1 or 2 characters that I had to like remind myself of who it was. However, Agatha Christie's writing was so good that it wasn't that big a deal. The only other thing I can think about is the French phrases. The main character of this is Hercule Poirot. I'm sorry, I can't say it very well. I do not speak French, as you can tell. But he does say some French phrases. Most of the time they don't matter, but every now and then they do. So me being very OCD, I did look them up every single time. And I think that kind of slowed me down a little. I don't think it would bother anyone else. But to me, it was like, I don't know if this is important. And there were like 2 that were important. The rest were not. So I think that you could probably read this and be fine without looking them up. I don't know if you have if you're an Agatha Christie fan, just let me know. Do you look up the French phrases, or do you just know French? I don't know. I just very much envied my brother because he took French, and I wish that I had taken a little bit of French, because the phrases weren't complicated. So I just wish that I had some base level French that I didn't have to look up these phrases. But again, that wouldn't bother anyone, everyone, and other people wouldn't look up the phrases because they're not crazy OCD like I am. Okay, so that's all the negatives, not a lot, and also it wouldn't bother a lot of people. Okay, Positives. I pretty much already said the positives in the non-spoiler section, so I've already gushed about this. But in the spoiler section, I just cannot explain to you how much I love the ending. I cannot explain to you how much I didn't expect it, and I watch a lot of mystery, and so it's like pretty amazing that like she could fool me. Um, Nothing was like hard to follow, even though there were a lot of characters. I followed every single word. I just can't praise her writing style enough. It's just, I know I already said it, but like her writing is so crisp and beautiful, and some of the things that Poirot says is just like amazing. That's why you can see that I still have a bookmark in here, because I'm going to read you a passage. And I just like can't explain how happy I am that I read this. It just such an amazing character study, which is like my favorite thing ever. I watch trashy TV to study people's characters. And this is just an amazing character study of what human nature is like. And just, I can't believe it took me this long. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited to read another. It's going to be so hard to go and read my other books and not just pick up the next Agatha Christie. So that's how much I liked this book. So let me go ahead and read you my favorite passage, and then that'll be it. I'll pop it up here. All right. So he is asking this girl to not be violent against this other girl who did her wrong. So she asked, "Do you mean like leave her alone?" And he says, "It is deeper than that. Do not open your heart to evil." Her lips fell apart. A look of bewilderment came into her eyes. Poirot went on gravely, "Because if you do, evil will come. Yes, very surely, evil will come. It will enter in and make its home within you. And after a little while, it will no longer be possible to drive it out." Like, gut punch. So amazing. And yeah, and that's just like only one of the passages where Poirot is just like so deep and understanding how people work. And that's why he solves the crime, because he knows how people work. And that means that Agatha Christie knew how people worked. And I think another thing that I forgot to mention is the setting. I picked this one up specifically because I like the setting. The same with Oriental Express. I knew I didn't have the budget to buy a ton of Agatha Christie, so I was like, which two am I buying? And these are the two that I picked up mostly for the setting, and I was right. The setting is beautiful, and like, I don't know, there's just something about Egypt that I've always loved. And so, yeah, the setting is also just incredibly impactful. Also, this cover is like really cool. This is one of the super old covers. I couldn't even find it on Fable or Storygraph because the cover is just kind of obscure, but I think it's because it's so old. Let me see. Does it have a date? Let me see. $1965. Yeah, 1965. So wow. So this book is like my mom's age. That's funny. Anyway, so that's not as old as I thought it would be, but yeah, it's a very, very cool cover. And the back is cool too, but it has spoilers, so I'm not going to show you the back. Anyway, that is all I have to say about Death on the Nile. I can't wait to read the next one. Let me know in the comments if you've read this book and what you think of Agatha Christie. Are you in love like I am? Because I think I'm in love. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.